Hi guys, welcome again. I've had my eye on that distant copse in the middle of nowhere, a kind of oasis of solitude in a vast moorland with no roads or tracks to it. I can see from satellite nav. So it's quite tough getting there, but I will manage. And I'm inviting you to join me, why don't you? So the whole idea is to see if this is a good place for a bug out, either in severe winter blizzard conditions, because it's high moorland, or on a hot summer's night on a hammock. So I'm going to check it out, do a recce, and I'll report back shortly. Hang about. At least we have a water source here in the middle of nowhere. Well, I made it guys. About a mile and a half of very tough terrain. The dog has done about 3 or 4 miles questing while we were walking, so it's been a good exercise. We're now here, and it is a remote, away from everything. Nobody comes here because there's no roads here. Just about a mile or 2 miles all round, flat heath and moorland. Lots of scent obviously because people don't come here, or the wildlife is obviously leaving its scent everywhere. A great place to hunker down in blizzard conditions, tucked under the snow, or in the summer a cool breeze at night off the moor. Altitude, 800 feet, perhaps more. Dry timber lying dead over there, and water supply plentiful. A little oasis in the middle of nowhere. The thing I like about Scots Pine is you get a dry area underneath the trees. Great place to have your camp. You have options, as you can see. Well, I think we'll just get the hammock up and have a half-hour break and take in the atmosphere. The kit I'm carrying today is very light. It's only 6 kilos. Plenty of water because it's summer. Probably about 2.5 litres of water for the dog as well as myself. Although I discovered on the way in here there's plenty of water in the bog, even in the summer, for the dog to drink, and one could also filter. In my kit today I've got ample water supply, bug net for quick access, gloves, but I don't need it. If there's any rough country you don't have to cut yourself scrambling through it. Shades, camo net, bug spray applied, but although it's really humid, it's not been too bad. And in my kit bag I have my hammock, 2 waterproofs, lunch, so that's all I'm carrying, and a first aid kit. So stand by and see what happens next. And I forgot to mention, a friend of mine gave me some old 1960s or 50s desert pouches which were really beat up and past it. So I decided to salvage the clips, which of course would have to be painted dark green because they'll reflect. And they're very strong, and I did do a check on the gear, and these clips were used, I think, in the Middle East on webbing, quick on and off access. Solid steel, I mean that's why I couldn't bear to throw them out. And really strong handy clips to keep. So if you have any old gear like that, strip all the goodies off them and keep them for adapting your new kit when you replace it. Right, let's go. Well, that's not going to work, I'm an idiot. Tapes are not long enough to go around big trees. Just ideal for a tree trunk of this thickness, not this thickness. Big head, small ego, and no brain power today, forgive me. A little update on my companion Wallace the Beagle. Some have complained about the dog not being off lead yet. I said it would take him a year and a half, it's now a year and a half, but lockdown took away 2 or 3 months, and so I couldn't afford to let a young puppy off with the risk that there'd have to be a 3-day search party to get it back. So given the circumstances, I've decided to play safe and maybe wait another year. So the dog will be well over 2 years before he's finally trusted. But he will have to be trusted, otherwise he'll never come with me ever again on any bushcraft outings. But my experience is that dogs, no matter what the breed, if you have a routine in the country where you take them on a hunt, let them burn off some energy, they stick by you, and they might disappear, but they come back. And as long as you're not near grazing and livestock, and you're in open moorland with very little sign of life, or in a forest, a dense forest, well fenced, then your dog can disappear for 20 minutes, up to even half an hour in some cases, I've experienced in the past, but they always come back. They've got an amazing scent. They use their scent more than anything else to find you. So there's no real fear of losing them permanently and getting into trouble with the authorities, farmers, landowners, and most importantly, your partner. I think you'll agree he's looking rather handsome. Today we've got the very long extendable, which meant he could go quite a distance out, to as far as that fence over there, and do some really good hunting and burn up some calories. So we're now going to have our lunch, and we're both going to have a little rest before heading back. Stand by. It's a very small bag, this, but I like it because it's light. It's 6 kilos, you don't feel you're carrying anything. In my food prep kit, which is this showerproof, slightly camouflage bag, keeps everything together. My snacks are crisps that I won't need, main course which I might use, high power energy shortbread, I think it's a military ration thing, and some trusty, every bushcrafter uses this. It's the well-loved pepperoni noodles, 4-minute boil, dry noodles, lightweight, and I popped inside there garlic powder and black pepper to give it an edge, and then I'll put the sausage in and make a really good lunch. I like these little containers. When you have them from supermarket, save them and reuse them. They're quite tough. And why do we do it? It's not about playing at soldiers, toy soldiers, or being a member of Dad's army. It's about having the craft and all the comforts and survival information and equipment affordably by means of getting into nice places that nobody else ever sees, and enjoying the natural environment without having to pay huge package fee holidays to do so. You just simply disappear into your own local countryside to secluded places that nobody's interested in but you, and you've got a paradise, free of charge. That's where the thrill is, about taking your sense of civilization into the wilderness. That's what the game's about. Why all the camo gear? Well, it's good using our army surplus because it's reliable, but also you blend in and the landowners really don't notice that you're there because everything's dark green or camouflage. So you kind of hide covertly, stealth camp, and they don't even know that you're there, which is also part of the fun as well. So that's the philosophy I have behind it all. So I encourage anybody who wants to do it. It's really affordable. So I highly recommend a portable food bag. It keeps everything together, and so you don't have to look through pouches for stuff. Everything's in one place. I usually carry the minimum amount of coffee mate that I need for one large brew, and that does the trick for me. Leave no trace. So that's hot pepper and garlic powder. Oh, and a chicken stock cube. While I'm waiting for the noodles to boil up, just want to show you the panorama around here. It's beautiful. Tranquility on earth. Just what the doctor ordered. So that's what it's all about. Now, no excuses, because you're in the know. I've never used Scots pine twigs before, and imagine they'll have quite a good smell. So some of you will have been wondering why I carry a pair of scissors in my prep, because you don't touch it, it doesn't contact with the ground, and you just simply slice your food, whether it's an onion or a sausage or a pepperoni stick, into the food. Job done. Smoked noodles for lunch. The nice thing about burning nearly tinder dry twigs is they don't burn too quickly, so you get a nice simmer. So that's another trick. If you want to be totally covert, of course, you want it tinder dry and absolutely no smoke whatsoever, and even better still, a Dakota bit. But this is in the middle of nowhere. It's like having a toddler with you. If you give him a cup of water, he'll take a few drinks out of it, then he'll bite the edge of the cup and empty it. Just try and steal it so you don't take it off him. If you stand too close to him, he won't drink the water because he thinks you're going to steal it, so he's being subservient. But if you leave the bowl with him and retreat, that might work. There you go. Good. Shh. Enough. Thank you. That was a buzzard, I think. Some of you might remember in childhood, during the long summer holidays when the weather was nice, in the days when it was safe to go wandering in the countryside alone even, I used to do a lot of that, probably at the age of 11 or 10 or 11 or 12 years of age. I'd go guzzling trouts in the local streams, away from civilization. I would lie in a field and watch the cows looking over the fence at me, walk for hours in the searing heat, not realising I was dehydrated. Oh, there it is again, buzzard. But there is one memory which I think I can say I've carried through my whole life. And that is as a young boy, 8 or 9, not realising that skylarks fell from the sky for a reason. They were being territorial and trying to direct us to another part of the terrain. And they would fly as high as possible, get your attention, drift a little bit, and then silence, and they would drop like stones, and then flutter to the ground, out of sight. And so summer days during the summer holidays in boyhood were milestoned by experiences just like that. That's what I think at the age of 60, I think I'm 65 next March. I'm trying to relive the life I had 50 odd years ago. And there's nothing wrong with that, I'm sure. Oh, there it is again, buzzard. Wonderful. And so the time has come for me to pack up and head home, and got a good hour's walk anyway through some pretty tough country, and I'm just going to take my time and enjoy the journey back. So till next time, take good care of yourselves and try to get out into the country if you can. If not, try and watch as many YouTube films as possible of people bushcrafting and getting out into the forests themselves. So until next time, take care and stay well. Bye.